The best chocolate chip cookie recipe you'll ever try, and if you're impatient like me, don't worry, you don't have to chill the dough in the freezer. Start off by browning your butter, which is going to make your whole house smell like a bakery, and then after it cools, add the brown sugar and white sugar and combine. Then add in an egg and 2 yolks along with the vanilla extract and mix until you have a thick caramel consistency. For the dry ingredients, you'll whisk together flour, baking soda, and salt and combine that with the wet using a rubber spatula until you have a dough. Sneak in a taste of the cookie dough and then add in your semi-sweet and milk chocolate. Mix that together, let the dough rest, scoop it, and then pop it in the oven to bake. The edges are crispy, there's pools of chocolate, and the center is so chewy. All that's left to do is enjoy with a glass of milk.
Tacar numa panela a manteiga e levar o fogo até derreter e chegar nessa cor aqui marrom e com um cheirinho de amor e tesão. Daí a gente reserva ela pra dar uma esfriadinha e depois começa a festa! Coloca ela numa tigela junto com açúcar mascavo, açúcar refinado e mistura até virar uma coisa só. Depois coloca um ovo e uma gema, extrato ou essência de baunilha e aí mistura tudo de novo. Não precisa misturar tanto, senão vai cagar tudo. Agora em outra tigela, no caso eu usei uma panela porque eu não tinha outra tigela, eu moro sozinha. Coloca a farinha, o café em pó solúvel, o sal e o bicarbonato de sódio e mistura tudo com ódio. Depois incorpora os secos nos molhados. Aqui eu dei uma experimentadinha porque eu não tenho medo de salmonela. E a parte mais top, você vai colocar o chocolate meio amargo de uma forma proporcional ao quão triste você estiver. Como eu tava bastante, eu coloquei 2 barrão e fui com Deus. Daí pode esquecer essa massa na geladeira por no mínimo meia hora. Enquanto isso, você pode fazer umas coisas bem joia, como ter uma crise existencial, assistir um filminho com a sua colega de quarto. E depois faz bolinhas com a massa e coloca elas na assadeira bem espaçadas, a menos que você queira que vire tudo um imenso cucão. Coloca no forno por uns 10 a 15 minutos até as bordas ficarem bem douradinhas, mas o meio ainda molinho. Depois de esfriar vai ficar assim, gente. Na moral, eu me superei nessa aqui, tá bom? Ainda bem que o vídeo de fundo tá sem áudio, porque quando eu experimentei acabei até soltando um gemidinho. Isso aqui com um copo de leite geladinho fica um lacre, tá? Por hoje é isso, tchau!
I've been obsessed with single serve recipes lately, and absolutely nothing beats an ooey gooey chocolate chip cookie. If you're in the mood to make the most delicious chocolate chip cookie without making a whole batch of 12, then this is the recipe for you. Just start by adding some softened butter, 1 egg yolk, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of white sugar, and mix. If you wanted to elevate this recipe, you could definitely brown the butter, but I like to keep things nice and simple. Here I've added a pinch of baking soda, a pinch of salt, and a little splash of vanilla essence. And the best thing about this recipe is that it all takes place in one bowl, so very little cleanup. Here I've added the flour and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. It's totally optional, but it makes for a super chewy cookie. Now for the best part, adding the chocolate, measure as your heart desires. So for best results, I would advise putting it in the freezer for at least 30 minutes, and if you can make it to 2 hours, then even better. This is what will give your cookie that crispy outer exterior and that ooey gooey center. I'm sure by now you can tell that I lied. It does make 2 cookies, but surely a single serving is 2 cookies. Am I right or am I wrong?
Oye, ¿cuántas veces has visto la mejor receta de cookies? Todo el mundo dice lo mismo y yo creo que alguien miente. No sé si mis cookies eran las mejores, pero están muy ricas. Lo primero que haremos será derretir la mantequilla y además la vamos a tostar hasta que quede doradita, algo así. La ponemos en un bol y añadimos azúcar moreno y blanco. Siempre he pensado, ¿para qué 2 tipos de azúcar si son lo mismo? Pero ¿sabes? He descubierto que el azúcar moreno retiene más humedad. Volvamos a la receta. Ponemos un huevo, harina, levadura química, maicena y lo mezclamos bien. Yo le he añadido un puñado de avellanas picadas Y en cuanto al chocolate, te lo dejo a tu criterio porque yo creo que todos sabemos cuánto chocolate hay que poner. Le damos forma y vamos a dejar que reposen media hora a temperatura ambiente. Mientras reposan, precalienta el horno y luego hornéalos unos 14-15 minutos. Ahora lo más complicado, espera que se enfríen unos 10 minutos.
Back to baking celebrity cookies. Today we're making K-pop star Felix Lee's chocolate chip cookies. I know absolutely nothing about K-pop, but y'all are going wild in my comments asking for these. I started with half a cup of melted butter and a cup of brown sugar, mix, then 1.5 tablespoons of white sugar, more mix, then some instant coffee, a cap of vanilla extract, and an egg and an egg yolk. In another bowl I mixed together bread flour, all-purpose flour, salt and baking powder, and slowly added it to my wet mixture. And of course I had to double the amount of chocolate chips. Then I scooped these into bowls, I used my trusty cookie scooper, and put these in the oven at 350 for 10 minutes. And Felix, I know you can dance and sing, but I think you need to switch job. I'm not lying, these are legitimately some of the best cookies I've ever made. These are incredible. And I just released this book called The Cookie Bucket List, where you turn a page, scratch off the ingredients, and make some of the most delicious cookies of your life. So go check it out in the link in my bio, and also
1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of peanut butter, 1 large egg, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, half a cup of chocolate chips. Mix it all together. Divide into 12 and place on a prepared baking sheet at 350 for 8 to 10 minutes. Boom.
Here are my best chocolate chip cookie tips so that yours come out exactly how you want. Starting with baking, adjust the time and temperature to get the texture you want. At lower temperatures, bake for longer time, the cookies will be thin and crispy. But higher temperatures for shorter time will give cookies that are thicker and gooier. Next, most chocolate chips are designed to hold their shape when baking, resulting in separate pockets of chocolate in the cookie. Adding chopped bars of baking chocolate, though, will give you melted chocolate spreading all throughout the cookie. Or use a combination of both for some pockets and some puddles. After making the cookie dough, baking the cookies right away will give a cookie that is flatter and spreads more. Refrigerating the dough for 30 minutes or up to overnight allows the butter to solidify and the flour to fully hydrate. This gives a cookie that spreads less and has a gooier center. And finally, try refrigerating your dough without the add-ins and customize every time you want cookies. Try chocolate chip, butterscotch, triple chocolate, s'mores, nuts, the works.